It's hard to believe that we've been following our 7 for nearly 2 years, during which time we witnessed them transform from leggy, bright-eyed foals to mischievous yearlings, and now into racehorses in training right before our very eyes. We're following a bay Frankel colt out of Simple Verse, a grey Dark Angel filly out of La Rioja, a bay filly by Havana Gold out of Stroll Patrol, a Churchill filly out of Windfire, a chestnut Dubarwi colt out of Wakila, a deep impact filly out of Lightning Pearl, and a bay Galileo filly out of Just the Judge. Last time we were delighted to share the news that all 7 were to be retained by Qatar Racing, and watched as the reflective Tweenhills team said goodbye as the horses departed to go on to the next ride of their adventure. And that move saw them come here, just down the road in beautiful Gloucestershire, to respected pre-trainer Tim Rusbridge. Originally from New Zealand, Tim's background in top-level eventing and show jumping has awarded him with a huge spectrum of skill and experience. And that, coupled with his passion for young horses, has bred a long and successful relationship with Qatar Racing. We joined Tim at home with the horses to witness the master and his methods, and discover why good horsemanship is always the key.
You know, I really enjoy the whole process between, them arriving sort of slightly raw, and then, 6 weeks later they leave here and they're cantering around the school and ready to go into training and onto their next phase of their careers. Sometimes colts or fillies, they arrive from the sales or wherever they've come from. It's a new environment, and for the first few days it's pretty exciting. One that arrives that it's the most difficult at the beginning, by the end can be the most straightforward and really enjoyable to have around. When they arrive, we give them a few days just to settle in. Some of them have been on the walker and they've started to have, gear on. We carry on that process, so then we start putting the surcingles on, bridles on, and they have bits back in their mouths. And then we start to put side reins on from the roller to the bit to sort of replicate, obviously, a jockey or somebody having hold of the rein. And then from there, we then go on to the long reining, like you've seen today in the boxes. I get them long reining between both reins. They then come out around the yard. Once we've finished the long reining and I'm happy with that, we then start lunging them, laying over them. So having, a jockey or a rider over their back, so they're getting used to having things behind them. And then from there, we start sitting on them, riding them around the stable. And then from there, they're ready then to be sort of ridden away in the lunge pen for the first time. By the end, they're cantering around both ways very politely and hopefully going well. They don't have to be perfect every day, and obviously there's good and bad days. You want them to generally go in the right direction and have the right idea and be willing. Roaring Lion, he was very straightforward to do. I remember him now. But, he went on into his 2-year-old year and, he was a proper colt. And, I think he gave John, plenty to keep him busy. But, he was very good. Just the Judge, champion. Lovely filly, very excited with her. She's only just sat on now in the box. Over the next few days, she'll be looking to probably have Ben come in and sit on her and be ridden away in the lunge pen. Quite excited about her, yeah. Lightning Pearl, funny enough, was very sharp to long rein at the beginning, and I thought we were going to have our hands full. My first impressions, I thought she was a bit of a sort of an ugly duckling, but actually once I started working with her, she's a real athlete, very excited. Wakila, Ben's favourite, he's been very cool so far, duck to water, really nice, sharp colt, yeah. Windfire, early stages, although, physically wise, already very strong, lovely type, looking forward to working with her, but she's at the early stages of long reining. Stroll Patrol, once again, similar type fillies, big, strong, once again, quite early on. La Rioja, this filly she was quite sharp at the beginning, but has really settled into it. And even Ben made comment, when he first started riding her, she was definitely the sharpest out of the 7, but now under saddle and riding very well, very willing. Simple Verse, lovely big colt, very strong, very lucky to have Ben with him. You can see from riding him around, he just needs to be managed a little bit, but I think the end result with him will hopefully be very good. I've been doing this a long time now. I mean, I've been very lucky to work and learn from some very incredibly good, horse people over the years. I really enjoy working with Qatar Racing, the involvement with Sheikh Fahid and his brothers, David and Tweenhills. A great group of people that are very good at what they do. It's amazing to be part of that success over the last few years, specifically with Roaring Lion and Cameco, and I'm very fortunate to be able to be part of that and to do the quality of bloodstock that I do. I feel very lucky.
From Tim's, the horses travel to the north of the country to be welcomed by Roger Marley at Church Farm Stables in East Yorkshire, where they'll be for the rest of the year. Roger's pre-training CV lists a number of successful graduates, and he started the career of many a favourite racehorse. For R7 as they embark on faster work, Tim had made the job easy.
Tim's got the majority of the hard work done. We're not going fast with them, but we're educating them and putting the final manners on them. I think it does them all good, and David likes the routine that we get them into, and they do fit in very, very smoothly into whichever training outfit they go into. Basically, whether they're forward, whether they need time, whether they need a break, every individual horse is different. We have quite a few that will be backwards and won't see a race course until the back end of their 2-year-old careers. And we do have 1 or 2 sharp ones, but majority of the Qatar horses are middle of the season onwards. They need time to mature and strengthen up. When you ride them, you know whether they are forward and strong enough to keep going the whole way through. They haven't had much training before they've come to me. They've only had very basic breaking in. So it's not lack of training. A lot of it is the way they are bred, middle distance sires, which obviously need time, and it's the strength of the horses. If they're out of middle distance mares again, or if they're out of very, very fast 2-year-olds, well then you're likely to get an early type 2-year-old. But the majority of the Qatar horses are made for mile plus races. For sure they're aiming more towards winning classics than they are winning early 2-year-old races. And that's what the breeding suggests, and that's what the horse suggests when you see them. They will start drifting out to the trainers the first week in January. David and the team might decide to leave them here a little bit longer until the spring. So it just depends on whether, if they're not ready for the next step up, it does seem a little bit pointless in sending them into training.
From R7 and all of us, we wish you a happy Christmas and a prosperous new year, when we'll be wishing the horses happy birthday as they turn 2 in January. Join us next time when life starts to get serious for R7, as they go to their selected trainers and their careers begin in earnest. But for now, happy Christmas.